Most people fail at discipline within 48 hours. By the end of this video, you'll know how to build unstoppable willpower, even if you've failed every single resolution you've ever made. Most people think discipline means being a monk. They think it's about constant suffering and iron will. This way of thinking is exactly why you keep failing. You wait for motivation to strike. You wait for that spark of energy to hit you before you start working. But motivation is a feeling. Feelings are unreliable, and they disappear the moment things get difficult. If you rely on how you feel, you are essentially a slave to your biology. You'll be productive when the sun is out, and you're well rested. You'll fall apart the moment you're tired or stressed. This cycle of starting and stopping creates a massive problem. It creates a sense of shame. Every time you fail to follow through, you lose a little bit of respect for yourself. That loss of self-respect is much harder to fix than any bad habit. It creates a mental barrier that makes the next attempt even harder. You stop believing you can actually change. Here is where it gets interesting. There is a biological reason your brain fights you every time you try to change. Your brain is wired for survival. It wants you to stay comfortable. It wants you to conserve energy. It wants you to eat the sugar and sit on the couch, because that's what kept our ancestors alive. This survival instinct is currently working against your modern goals. Your brain sees a difficult workout or a complex project as a threat to your energy reserves. It sends you signals to quit. These signals feel like boredom. They feel like fatigue. They feel like a sudden urge to check your phone. You think these are personality flaws. They are actually just survival mechanisms. There is a specific part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex. This is where your decision-making happens. It is the seat of your discipline. But this part of the brain has a very limited fuel supply. Every decision you make drains that fuel. If you spend all morning deciding what to wear or what to eat, you'll have less energy for your actual goals. This is called decision fatigue. By the time you need to do the hard work, your battery is empty. You try to be disciplined, but you simply don't have the mental resources left to fight your instincts. But what if you could cheat the system? What if you could protect your mental fuel? To do that, we have to talk about the dopamine trap. This is the most common reason people fail at discipline in the modern age. People often think dopamine is the chemical of pleasure. That is a mistake. Dopamine is actually the chemical of pursuit and anticipation. It is what drives you to seek out rewards. In the past, this helped humans find food and mates. Today, it is being hijacked by your phone and social media. Every time you scroll through a feed, you get a tiny hit of dopamine. These are cheap hits. They require zero effort and provide zero long-term value. When you flood your brain with cheap dopamine, you change your baseline. You raise the bar for what feels rewarding. Hard work starts to feel physically painful because it doesn't provide that instant hit. You become a dopamine addict. You are constantly chasing the next small distraction. This makes long-term discipline feel impossible. You aren't lazy. You are just overstimulated. If you're finding this helpful, consider subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into human performance. So how do we fix this? We don't start by trying to have more willpower. We start by changing your identity. This is the most effective way to build discipline without the struggle. Most people focus on outcomes. They say, I want to lose 10 pounds. Or, I want to write a book. Outcomes are fragile. They depend on things outside of your control. Instead, you need to focus on who you are. You need to decide what kind of person you want to be. A runner doesn't think about running 10 miles. A runner simply runs. When you change your identity, your actions become a way to prove that identity to yourself. You aren't trying to do a hard thing. You are simply acting like the person you believe you are. This shift removes the need for constant negotiation with yourself. You stop asking, "Should I work out today?" Instead, you recognize that working out is just what you do. But identity alone isn't enough. You also need to manage your environment. This is the easiest way to build discipline because it requires almost zero willpower. You need to reduce friction for good habits and increase friction for bad ones. This is the secret to the easiest way to build discipline. If you want to work out in the morning, put your gym clothes right next to your bed. If you want to eat healthier, don't keep junk food in your house. Make the bad choices difficult and the good choices automatic. You are essentially designing a world where your instincts work for you instead of against you. You are saving your prefrontal cortex fuel for the things that actually matter. If you can't do the big thing, do the tiny thing. This is called the 2-minute rule. It is a powerful way to bypass the brain's resistance to change. When you want to start a new habit, make it so small that it takes less than 2 minutes to do. Don't try to read a whole chapter. Just read 1 page. Don't try to run a mile. Just put on your shoes and walk to the end of the street. The goal isn't the task itself. The goal is the act of showing up. You are training your brain to trust you. You are proving that you are the kind of person who doesn't miss. Once you master the art of showing up, the intensity will come naturally. But you cannot skip the starting phase. You must build the foundation of consistency first. Here is the part most people miss. Discipline is actually a form of self-respect. It is the act of keeping promises to yourself. Every time you follow through on a small goal, you build a layer of self-trust. This trust is the ultimate superpower. It gives you the confidence to take on massive challenges. The more you trust yourself, the less willpower you actually need. Discipline stops being a battle and starts being a lifestyle. It becomes your natural state of being. We've talked about the biological fuel of your brain. We've covered the dopamine trap and the power of identity. We've looked at how environment design and the 2-minute rule can make change easy. All of these pieces fit together to create a system. You aren't fighting your biology anymore. You are working with it. You are using your environment to protect your energy and your identity to drive your actions. You now have the blueprint to build discipline that lasts. You don't need more motivation. You just need a better system. Start small today. Choose one tiny thing and do it. Prove to yourself that you are capable of change. Every day is a new day, a new challenge to face with renewed optimism. If you're ready to master that instinct and build real discipline, hit like and subscribe. Then, watch this next video to keep your momentum going.